never meant to hurt you. Swear till the day I die. I never meant perfection. I never even tried. But if you wanna see it, and if you wanna feel it, we'll make sense of all this fiction. 'Cause when I botch, I mean it.
Good evening and welcome to the Botchcast for Money in the Bank 2022. I am your host, Stuart Goward, and joining me as always is my good brother, Jimmy the Saint.
Loving that. Loving that.
It seemed appropriate, Jimmy, to mix things up a bit for the Botchcast.
Yeah, perfect. I know, I've even adjusted my camera.
You seem to be in a completely different room. Are you in a different house?
No, whenever I do the Botchcast, I always do it from the kitchen to mix it up for myself because I want to be in a different persona.
Okay, right. Yep, I like it. You need to be in another state of mind.
Yeah, I'm like mankind, dude love.
Yeah,
different.
Just like him.
Yeah.
Well, as Jimmy broadcasts from his boiler room, I'm here, obviously here in my I was going to call it my chaise lounge, but it's not a chaise lounge.
No.
What do they call bedroom? Boudoir. That's what I meant. Boudoir. We're already off the rails for the Botchcast. We are here to talk about the Money in the Bank, not pay-per-view, premium live event, Jimmy. We've got to get used to saying this. Premium live event.
I hate that. I hate that. Don't you? If we're starting the show. Premium live event. It's what's wrong with the man? What's wrong with Vinnie Mac? I love Vinnie Mac. Don't get me wrong, but why does he do these things? Why does he say you can't say belt is championship and can't say wrestler is superstar? I guess he's trying to set it apart from other stuff, but
yeah, I think he might be a bit mentally unhinged.
Yeah, that'd be it.
Yeah, I just think that's what it is. You know, The man's just not right. But this is the Botchcast where we talk about all things pro wrestling, Jimmy. If this is your first time with us on the Renaissance Men channel, please hit that like or those like and subscribe buttons. But before we crack on, I do want to just highlight that we are continuing our Geek Out for Gosh campaign throughout July, where we're trying to raise funds for Great Ormond Street Hospital and the charity of that organisation, where they, raise funds to help and assist not only with equipment or research, but they help to support families and the children themselves by paying for living expenses, accommodation expenses and such. So we are doing a drive throughout July, predominantly through our gaming streams, but I think it's worth mentioning on everything we do. So if you do want to donate, you can scan that QR code in the top right hand corner. That should work now. It didn't work last Friday.
No.
Due to my incompetence.
I'm going to see if it does. Bear with me.
Please work. It should take you directly to the donations page. Come on.
Do you want me to lie, Stu? Do you want me to lie? Oh.
No, be honest with me, Jimmy. You do need to kind of maybe come out a bit.
Web page tap here.
Yes! Yes!
Did it.
Boom. Scan that QR code. If you want to support the charity, support the fundraising drive that we're going through, then please do. We just passed, as of this evening's recording, £100 of our £250 target. So I'm so made up with that. So thank you to everyone who has donated so far. Thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. Also, I'm assuming Jimmy thanks you as well. You might not.
Yep.
I don't know.
No. I thank
I don't want to speak for you, Jimmy.
I thank them, and I don't want to blow my own trumpet, but I have donated £7 million to the charity. That's what I've done. I'm a good guy.
Yep.
Pledged, donated. I use them synonymously.
Yeah.
So.
Right. With that being said, Jimmy, let's crack on and talk about the Money in the Bank PLE. I'm going to call it PLE. It sounds like a glue, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Like a glue you get in school.
Yeah, let's sniff some. Let's sniff some PLE.
Sniff the WWE glue.
Let's do it. Stu, I'll just say that.
Go on.
I'm ready.
He's got his Steve Weisers. His Jim Weisers.
Weiser, yes, the Saint Weisers.
Jimmy, the Money in the Bank 2022 premium live event.
Yeah.
Emanated from the MGM Grand in Las Vegas. And it's one of the WWE's, what would you call it, a gimmick paper, PLE? You know, it's all based around the Money in the Bank ladder matches for both men and the women, isn't it? So it's
which used to be at WrestleMania. They had the Money in the Bank matches.
Indeed, yeah.
They had them nearly at the start. It's one of my favourite events of the year. I was
going to ask if you liked the concept of the match and having them building a pay-per-view around them as well.
I'm fine with them building a pay-per-view around it. Probably after Mania and Rumble. Well, Rumble, then Mania. I'd probably rather watch Money in the Bank than SummerSlam, and I do like the spectacle of SummerSlam and Survivor Series. I wish Survivor Series would go back to how it used to be. Like the brand, I don't think the brand versus brand works at all. I think that's shit.
Yeah.
I used to love Survivor Series with, you get Axe and Smash teaming with Jake the Snake Roberts and Hulk Hogan. People you wouldn't see together normally. I always enjoyed that. But yeah, I like the concept. It's usually a bit of a spot fest, which I know a lot of purist wrestling fans might not like. But I do. I like seeing people do things that I go to. I enjoy that.
You wince. Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah. No, okay, yeah. Like I do. I'm not sure I'm a fan of the match itself, but I'll get into that when we talk about the matches. But as a concept, I think I like the Money in the Bank more as a concept than the Royal Rumble, which kind of has I feels like they have a similar kind of goal, don't they? You're giving someone you might not necessarily think would get an opportunity to go for the title. I think with the Royal Rumble these days, it feels like a bit like we've got to shoehorn them into the WrestleMania main event. How the hell are we going to do that? And you've only got a couple of months to do that. Whereas the Money in the Bank, you've got the whole year to kind of plan out something. And
yeah, I think that's quite exciting.
A bit more creative freedom than the Royal Rumble. But saying that, I do love the Royal Rumble because due to its legacy and history and nostalgic value, I guess. But I do like the concept of you win this, so you get a title match or that kind of thing,
Yeah, it's great. Yeah, it's good fun. Good fun.
Yeah.
And I love the idea that you can cash in whenever. They've opened that up.
Yes.
It's quite exciting. And if it's done right, a la Seth Rollins, Henry Rollins, Seth Rollins, WrestleMania 32, I don't know, I care. When he cashed in,
yes,
heist of the century. That was what first got me back into wrestling. I'd been out for years.
Pulled you back in.
Yeah, I'd hung about on the sidelines through the Attitude Era, through my girlfriend at the time's younger brother, her 14-year-old brother, and she'd want me upstairs with her, and I'd be downstairs playing video games and talking about wrestling with him. And then at work,
hence X.
Yeah. And at work, sometime listener of the show, who I used to work with, Lee Blackburn, said to me, I think he started watching Raw and stuff again. I think you'd like it. I think there's a few guys you'd like. Daniel Bryan, it's Seth Rollins. I was like, I'll give it a go. Watched a few Raws, and I was like, that's quite good. And then it was Mania, and then it was that match, and Brock, Roman, Seth. I was so good, and I was like, right, I'm back in. I was excited,
Never looked back, Jimmy.
I have.
Yes. Okay, so the first match on the card was indeed the women's Money in the Bank ladder match. The entrance for this, we had big time Becky Lynch, Asuka, Liv Morgan, Raquel Rodriguez, Lacey Evans, Shotzi, and Alexa Bliss. The first thing that stood out to me is I didn't know, because I haven't stuck too closely to the WWE programming between pay-per-views. Indeed, the last Botchcast we did was WrestleMania, so that says how much we've kind of kept in touch with everything. I think there's been 2 or 3 pay-per-views, sorry, PLEs since then. But last time I heard, Lacey Evans had also went off to have a baby, but it was Ric Flair's baby, and this hasn't been acknowledged since.
No, I think they swept that under the mat.
The baby.
Yeah. No, she came back, and I think the kid was now her new motivation to do well.
Right.
Yeah. And I mean, I don't know what they've done with Bliss. I mean, Bliss, they gave her sort of Bray Wyatt's character, but a really watered down, weird version, didn't they? And
they did. I don't know. It's something about Alexa Bliss just feels like she's just coasting through to eventual release.
Yes. Yeah, I agree.
It doesn't feel like she's got any real focus. You know, she's kind of between gimmicks. It's like she's doing her old Twisted Bliss stuff, but also like got the little dummy thing. What's it called? I forget what it's called.
Lily,
thank you. So she's neither here nor there. She's not committing to really anything. It just feels like she's.
And I don't think that's her fault that she's not committed.
No,
to it. I agree. It doesn't feel like commitment. It's obviously to do with the writing and storylines. But yeah, I agree. When they first put her with Bray, it seemed like a good choice. You know, have her as that Sister Abigail, have that as that scary part to that crew, and build out. They probably should have built out that faction again. You know, but the fact that it's all gone, it's just this half-assed attempt. It's a shame because people love Bliss, don't they?
Yeah, I do. I think she's great. You know, she's you know, when she was champ, I loved her as like cocky heel Alexa Bliss, and just such a shame where she is now, I should say, not where she was, where she is now. If nothing else, it feels like a waste for great talent.
Yeah.
But anyway, she was in the match. Let's talk about the match. I thought I don't want to talk about the men's match just quite yet, because that obviously finished the show. But I think of the two, this was the worst of the 2 ladder matches for me. I don't know, it's just something about it was a bit botchy, a bit unpolished, a lot of ladder based gimmicks, and this, I guess this is kind of one of my major issues with the Money in the Bank match in general, is they were concentrating too hard with doing stuff with the ladders. You know, like intricate spots with the ladders on like the corners and stuff, and people wrapping themselves around ladders and all this kind of business. And I wish we could go back to the day where just getting hit by a ladder was enough. You know, like the Razor Ramon, Shawn Michaels, when they had their first ladder match, like jumping off a ladder, that was spectacular enough. And I know we've advanced and we're probably desensitized to ladder-based violence these days, but do you know what? I don't know. Am I being unfair? Am I being unkind? I just felt a lot of unnecessary guff.
Yeah, I get that.
To make things clear,
it would be if they were to go with that. I think one of the things that limited Shawn and Razor, but caused them to be more idealistic. It's not the word. Creative. Okay. Yeah. Was I'm pretty sure they had one ladder.
They did, yeah.
Right. You got one ladder.
It's kind of like a stumpy thing as well. It's like like massive, like these ladders you get now.
Yeah, all these ladders. You got one ladder that you're both fighting over. That makes more sense. So maybe if they just had less ladders, it would cause and obviously they can break at some point. And if they break, you bring down the ladder man to bring in another one. But if you just had one, you could have tables and chairs and whatnot. But there's only one ladder that gets you up there. I think that would cause them to be a bit more creative, and there'd be more wrestling, I guess, in the match, with other people trying to sneak a ladder, and then that ladder goes out, and they got to. I don't know, but I know what you mean. I know I thought it was a bit sloppy. Unfortunately, as good as a lot of the women are, it's a hard hitting match. The ladder match, isn't it? And what some of the people have done in these matches, have caused so, have made things look so spectacular and amazing that sometimes the women's ones are a little bit slow. Yeah, I think you've got to have the right set of people in there. And if you haven't got all the right people, like, the men's, I don't think Omos should have been in it. Like, that's not a guy for a ladder match. I don't know. I think Kane has been in more ladder matches than he's been more Money in the Bank matches. And there's no reason for Kane to be in there. You want a ladder
reach
match.
Out. You got it.
Yeah. You have a ladder match. You want the fast, hard-hitting ones, in it, I think.
Yeah.
Becky Lynch, Asuka, Shaw, Charlotte. Who else is good? There's a couple of girls in NXT. But just quick, fast-moving, hard-hitting in those ladder matches, I think.
Did you, or have you heard about the fallout for because Shotzi missed a spot, didn't she? Where she was trying to run up a ladder, I think, and I think she messed it up somewhat. And she took a lot of abuse on Twitter for this, bloody Twitter, to the point where I think she put out a message, apologising for a mistake and like kind of fighting back to the people criticising her and sending her awful messages. And I think now she has deleted her Twitter account, which is, again, it's that we speak about it on the Friday show a couple of weeks ago, if not last week, that just internet, the bullshit internet hive mind just kind of, sometimes it's just horrendous. And,
Did someone get hurt because of her botch?
I don't know, quite honestly. If it's the moment I'm thinking of, it didn't seem to be that much of a consequence. She kind of just missed she was running up the ladder and just missed one of the runs. I think she may have she couldn't do that spot, but so what? Who cares? I don't think anyone got hurt in it. I could be wrong. Forgive me.
Well, that's what I meant. If you muck up a spot, you muck up a spot. If no one's hurt, you don't deserve shit. These things fucking happen, don't they? It's not like what was her name? Nia Jax. Yeah, really hurting people every so often. And when you're doing that, she should get probably a little bit of shit. But no, I didn't notice that. I just thought it was a fine match. I haven't got a huge amount to say about it, to be honest. No.
My only other notes really are that Shotzi did also take a bump to the back of her head. That really kind of made me wince. I don't know if it was off did she hit a ladder? She hit something. And then I think she cut herself and there was blood. Perhaps that's what people were moaning about. I'm not sure. But she didn't have the best showing, let's say, the most solid, smooth of showings. But Liv Morgan won the match. Which I was surprised about, but what I'm thinking, looking back on it, perhaps I shouldn't have been surprised because the commentary team were really playing that, the card of, she's always the bridesmaid, never the bride, really kind of laying thick the storyline that this would be a great kind of shock win for her, last ditch attempt for her. So I think they did well in presenting the story and giving that to us and having Liv win.
It's interesting. I mean, I was really happy Liv won it. There was like, I don't know what it is about her. She's very easy to warm to.
She seems very likable, doesn't she?
Yeah, and I think as a wrestler, she's pretty good. I don't think she's Asuka or Becky Lynch or Charlotte, people I keep mentioning, or maybe Rhea Ripley, or the EST. But she's fair enough. She comes across maybe like a Trish Stratus kind of character, when she was face, of course, and just likable. And maybe she's been fucked over quite a lot, hasn't she? In WWE. They got rid of all of her teammates and they put her in that weird lesbian scandal thing.
Nothing's really stuck, is it?
No,
storyline or gimmick wise.
But people stick with her, and I think they know she's fucking trying her hardest, and she comes across lovely. So I was absolutely chuffed she won. I was like, mixed things up. It wasn't just one of the top sort of 4 women or whatever. So I was really happy she won.
Yeah, it was a nice moment, and more on that later. Next up, we had a strange a strange kind of video segment where I guess they're trying to keep Cody on TV still.
Yeah.
That's going to be quite hard if he's going to be out for like 9 months or whatever it is. But he kind of gave his running commentary on all of the men involved in the Money in the Bank, in the men's Money in the Bank.
Yeah.
So he's kind of like giving his thoughts, his colour commentary on all the combatants in that, which I thought was a bit odd. But
I liked it.
Did
I liked
you?
it.
Okay.
Mm.
Okay.
Well, it keeps him relevant. Obviously, he's supposed to be one of their big stars at the moment, isn't he? They've brought him in as a big star, and I think that they've booked him like a big star, and I liked it because it was like he's the expert. You know, it's like having one of the old footballers who's only just retired or whatever, or a footballer who's out on injury, you know, who's fucking good talking.
Okay, David Ginola.
I'm thinking Ginola, but I mean, I don't even like football, but I am thinking Ginola. And it gave them, I think it gave a bit of a rub to some of the guys.
Okay,
gave that gravitas, you know, him saying how good these people are, even, you know, Omos. You know, okay, he's green, but man's what 7'4" or whatever.
But you say this though, but one thing I noticed, Jimmy, and sorry to interrupt, is that
fine.
He starts off by saying, "Oh, this Money in the Bank has some of the greatest competitors ever in the match." He's like, "Well, hang on a minute, you got what? Sheamus, like, Omar, what do they call him?
Omos.
The Nigerian commander or something."
No, he's Nigerian giant.
Okay. Forgive me. God, who else do we have in it? But it clearly wasn't the greatest combatant in the history of WWE in it.
Oh, is that what you said?
Yeah,
yeah, that's wrong.
It's overselling it somewhat, but
yeah, no, that's fair enough.
He tried. I just mean Madcap Moss.
Yeah, I mean, what is that?
But enough of that. No, let's not spoil it.
No.
Back to Cody. Sorry, I interrupted you.
Well, look, for the purpose of what they needed, I think they kept him relevant. They gave us an update, and I think he gave a bit of a rub to the guys in the match. So I think it worked for what it needed to do. And them saying, he said, what, 9 months? Realistically, it'll probably be 6. I reckon he'll probably be back when he. What we got in 6 months' time? One of the biggies. He'll be back for the Rumble for sure.
Probably that probably makes sense.
I bet he'll get back for the Rumble.
Perhaps that's what he's targeting. Get back for the Rumble. Yeah. Okay. Second match.
And probably win it.
Yep. Good shout. Yeah. Match 2 was the US title match: Bobby Lashley versus the champ Theory.
Why does Vince hate first names?
I don't know.
Why does he keep?
I don't know. Everyone's just lost them, haven't they? Really? I mean, I can understand Theory because Steve Austin. That arguably you could understand that one.
They probably should have got rid of that at the start. And given something else.
Yeah.
You don't want to have Austin. You don't want to go in as fucking.
No, it's only one Austin.
Rock or Austin or whatever. Like, that's a bad move. So I get it, but just give him something else. Like I don't know, Mr. Theory or fucking something.
Mr. Theory, I like it. Who is the other one you mentioned?
Riddle.
Riddle. Of course.
Matt Riddle. In my head, I'm going Tom Riddle, but that's Voldemort.
Yeah. Match 2, like I say, the US title match. I was more engaged with this than I had any, than I should have, than I had any right to expect. I'm not a massive fan of Bobby Lashley as a character or a performer. His match at WrestleMania that we watched, that was against
Omos, the Nigerian king.
I keep calling him Omo. That's is the S silent?
Omar before.
Did I Omar? Omar Sharif. I don't know. Omos. We'll go with Omos.
Yeah, Omos. Yeah,
because that's his name. But yeah, the match with Omos at WrestleMania was awful.
Well, yeah,
a bit lumbering, and I think that's kind of symptomatic of most of his matches. That's how I would describe him: lumbering, kind of big, powerful affairs.
Yeah,
which, may float your boat. It doesn't particularly me sometimes, but perhaps it was the Theory factor. Perhaps it is. Sorry, just Theory. I nearly said Austin Theory, Mr. Theory, because I do like him.
Yeah, lots of people do. Lots
Do
of
you?
people are behind Austin Theory. I don't know. Like
You're
Jim
not sure
Cornette.
yet.
Jim Cornette loves Austin Theory, and I know Jim Cornette is stuck in the past a bit with a lot of things, but he still does speak a lot of sense. Yeah, I mean, I think he's a good heel. He looks good. He can talk, and yeah, I thought the match was all right. What is it about Bobby Lashley that's so boring? Because he looks like a star. He looks like a superstar.
Yeah.
Why isn't he booked to sort of Brock level? I think that's the problem. He should have been Brock, but
he doesn't. He's just not very charismatic. I think that's what it is for me. Like, if you had his body, his physical form, but could like put in, I don't know, shove Austin Theory in there, or Jimmy, yeah, shove in Jimmy's persona. Gold, absolute gold.
Imagine my voice coming out of Bobby Lashley.
I think that's all it is for me. It's a performance persona thing for me, nothing more. And maybe his style of ring work, maybe. But yeah, I'm not sold on him. He doesn't do it for me.
Yeah, his ring work. I mean, what do you get with his ring work? A suplex where he holds them up, his spear. I think there's a spine buster in there.
His hurt lock.
The hurt lock, which is nice. He's probably got about 5 or 6 moves. You know, it's probably that Cena effect, but without the Cena personality.
Yeah.
Because even when people hate Cena, he's still fucking good on the mic, isn't he? Because Brock. I mean, I keep going back to Brock, but what's his personality? When he had Heyman, like, he didn't say anything, really, did he? And I think Lashley with MVP was working.
Yeah.
MVP's not...
I think you're right, yeah. I think there's an aura about Brock, isn't there? There's I mean, he's not necessarily a charismatic performer again, but you just can't take your eyes off him, can you? Because you don't know what he's going to do next. He could do anything, and I think that it's the unpredictableness of Lesnar. But I don't get that from Bobby Lashley. He just feels a bit too vanilla, you know, a bit too just kind of straight down the middle.
Yeah, he's Brock's believable, isn't he? He's very believable. And if you step out of line, you know, like when fucking Braun gave him a hit, he got a few knees, big knees, didn't he?
He did.
I love what do they call Brock? What does McAfee call him? The alpha male of the human race. Like brilliant. They big him up, mate. I think maybe Lashley needs something more around him, because I'm with you. He's a little bit boring, but he shouldn't be.
No,
he is.
I think you're right. Having him with MVP was great, and obviously had that run to the title. He was champion, wasn't he, for a period?
Yeah, he had to give it up because he got hurt.
So I think giving him a mouthpiece is what he needs.
And the match itself, I quite enjoyed. Theory played a good sort of heel running around. He got some good licks in. It seemed like Bobby had to win unless Theory was going to do some chicanery. I was kind of surprised that Bobby did win, but obviously, what happened.
I think that it's a weird one, because Bobby Lashley did win by submission. So they wanted to get the title off Theory for obvious reasons, I guess. He wins the Money in the Bank match. Let's not beat around the bush. And I don't know. How did you think that made Theory look going into the Money in the Bank match later in the evening? I mean,
well, he's a decent snivelly heel, isn't he? Like,
he's great,
decent.
massive, great heat magnet.
He's not MJF, but he's, you know, he can't be in the WWE, so he's easily hateable, and yeah, he would lose to Lashley, wouldn't he? Christ, he would. He should lose to Lashley. Yeah.
I don't know. I just can't. I just came out thinking the fact that he won the Money in the Bank match as well, the men's Money in the Bank, and having lost earlier in the night, does that make him look a bit weak? Does that lessen the achievement, or does it make him come across as more weaselly because he's lost? So he's he's gone said, he's shoved him into the Money in the Bank match in the last minute. I don't know. It didn't work either way for me. It's kind of like a middle ground that neither one or the other. I don't know. We're probably talking about it too far in advance at this point, but perhaps we'll think about that and come back to it when we discuss the Money in the Bank match itself. But in terms of the US title, Bobby Lashley is now the US champion. And just speaking about, they really put that title over well, I think, on Raw this past Monday because it was the 4th of July. So, Lashley, what did he do? I think he opened the evening, in fact. Yeah, he came out first, like kind of really bigging up the US title and giving him a good platform, which kind of makes sense. And yeah, it was nice. And he did okay.
It needs more gravitas. Like Cena brought that gravitas to it, didn't he? He did the US Open Challenge.
Yeah.
And we had lots of people coming out and having a go. I think Sami Zayn came out and had a go. Mm-hmm. Did Kevin Owens have a go at that? Because he didn't win the US title, but he beat Cena on his, clean in that match. It needs bigging up. It's a big. All titles should be bigged up, shouldn't they?
And I think having Lashley holding it can do that. He's a big guy. He's one of the top stars on Raw. Having him hold that belt could give it some of that much needed gravitas. Okay, match 3 was the Raw Women's title match. Carmella versus Bianca Belair, the champ. This is the moment of the pay-per-view that I went to do some housework. I'm not going to lie, so I don't have a great deal to speak about this. Only because I didn't really expect any change of titles. Bianca Belair won by pinfall. But what I did, Carmella after the match did do a little post-match beatdown of Bianca Belair, and at that point I think, are we going to get a cash in by Liv? But she, I think
at that point, had she done a post-match promo?
I think she had, and she alluded to the fact that she was teasing holding it till WrestleMania and saying, "Oh, I'm just going to go back and party now. I'm just going to celebrate." I
think that was brilliant.
Yeah,
that was really good because I believed her. I did believe her because she's the underdog there, and she's won the Money in the Bank, and probably the smart thing to do after having a match is to go, I'm just going to fucking enjoy this. And she seemed so happy that she had won it, didn't she? She seemed so happy. It kind of seemed like a shoot interview. It was really well delivered, and she was like, "Yeah, I've got a whole year, so many possibilities, but tonight I'm going to just celebrate." And it seemed like, I think she is going to go off and celebrate. And as you say, we had the EST versus Mella is Money. It was an okay match. Mella's pretty good, considering I think she's an ex-cheerleader. She is good, and her personality comes through. You do get that with Carmella. She's got a big personality, and obviously,
very hateable.
Yeah.
In a good way. No, I'm saying that as a compliment.
And she looks,
believe it or not,
she looks fantastic. She's not my cup of tea, but she does look good. She. I don't like. Yeah, she looks great. And Bianca Belair is really good. She's really good, and it wasn't much of a challenge for Bianca, but it's nice seeing Bianca do certain feats of strength. She's one strong woman, and she does lovely. She does nice kip ups and back flips, and the hair. She's got the whole package, hasn't she, Belair? But she deserved to win. There'll be another match. They'll fight again, won't they? Because she gave you that beat down, so they'll go again.
Yeah. Okay, so next up we got footage of Logan Paul at the Performance Center. kind of like bigging him up and saying what a fantastic signing this is for WWE, and he declares that he wants to face The Miz at SummerSlam. Yeah, so we kind of got the first glimpses of Logan Paul for WWE.
I hate to say it, Stu, but he looked fucking good in the Performance Center. Like he looks like a WWE superstar more than a lot of people that have been in there. I'm not a fan of Logan Paul. Like, it's just a fucking YouTuber, but like, and he obviously did that thing we spoke about, didn't we? Where he went and found a dead body hanging.
Yeah.
So he's just like, like most YouTubers, just whores for light, right? Most, just trying to be famous, just trying to be famous for being a personality. No other talents apart from you could have a personality. But he's done well for himself. He's done well for himself, and he's done his boxing. But then when I saw him doing his stuff in the Performance Center, and even the way he spoke, he's a good-looking guy. I was like, yeah, he looks good. If he wouldn't have come via the way he's come, I mean, what moves did he do in the Performance Center? He did some big frog splashes, but I think did he do a shooting star press or?
Oh, I can't remember. But he was great at WrestleMania, wasn't he? He gave a good showing.
Yeah.
In that tag match that he had teaming up with The Miz. And I think it's interesting that they're kind of throwing him in with The Miz, because The Miz has had a similar, and they've highlighted this in like the subsequent packages with The Miz. They did this on Raw, like Miz's journey to the WWE through the real world on MTV, and getting through Tough Enough, and his entry, and it's kind of a nice comparison between the two. And I think that works quite well, and could potentially throw up some interesting storytelling. They probably won't, because it's WWE, but you know what I mean. It's an interesting pairing, and I think done with some intent behind it. So could be good. Could be good.
I think the main problem for me, and probably for a lot of people, is you get all the guys working the indies, sleeping in their car, earning 50 quid a match, working their ass off for years to get to the WWE, and then you get this YouTuber coming in as a big star, and I think that's how people look at it. But the fact is, he's made himself a star in another medium, and he be like getting not Joe Rogan, because obviously he's done other things, but I don't know, fucking Bill Burr or something like. He's done that thing, and he's gone in. It will bring eyes. So business wise, it makes sense. I think people just go, well, it's not fair. But I don't know, man.
Well, I think it is a fair comment. But I think WWE like to. I don't know. It feels like they like to have some ownership over people, their souls, if nothing else. And have. Pluck these superstars from other like industries and kind of mold them, professional wrestling wise, kind of mold them to their liking, have their preferred wrestling style and stuff like that. Whereas if you're getting someone from the indies, plucking them in, they might come with bad habits or, these preconceived like gimmicks and stuff. And I think WWE want a lot more ownership than they're prepared to give. Maybe they've been burnt in the past. I don't know, but I do think there's certainly a shift in kind of culture in who they're bringing into the company now.
Yeah, definitely. Bad Bunny.
Bad Bunny. Paul Logan. Logan Paul. Sorry.
I'd rather see Paul Logan. Paul Hogan. Paul Hogan.
Mick Dundee. That's not a knife. This is a knife.
Coming in as Hulk Hogan's cousin.
Fuck yeah, that'd be good.
That'd be good. In the old days,
writes itself.
In the old days, they would have brought in Logan Paul, and they would have put him to the fucking APA, wouldn't they? Yeah. And they would have properly beat the shit out of him. And I think I'd like that. Miz is a really safe worker. Like, he's never been injured in his entire career. I would have liked it if they would have brought him in to get. Is there anyone in the WWE at the moment who would give him a proper kicking? Sheamus, maybe Sheamus.
Probably, yeah.
That'd be fun.
Yeah, some of those like older school guys, you know, from the like ruthless aggression era, you know, kind of crossed eras, I guess. Sheamus, stuff like that.
Pete Dunne, even does he?
Probably would.
Yeah. Somebody's going to give him a bit of a kicking and let him know your role.
Got to pay his dues, isn't he?
Yeah. Yeah, he hasn't paid his dues.
No. Match 4, my match of the night, the undisputed tag team title match. Street Profits versus the champs, the Usos. Usos standing at 349 days as champs.
Who's going to say pounds?
Incredible.
Yeah,
incredible, right?
yeah. I didn't realise they'd been champs. I also didn't know they had both the belts.
No, I didn't either. I was willing that to happen like months ago, and was disappointed they didn't do it at one of the pay-per-views. Backlash, I think it was. I think they're planning it for Backlash, but then they turned it into a bullshit like multi. I think they threw McIntyre and Roman in there, didn't they?
Yeah.
But obviously they've unified the titles. A great match for me. Loved it, and I think the reason I loved it, I mean, the Usos, you know, they're smooth. They're again safe performers. Kind of just they'll give you a good match most nearly every day of the week. But Angelo Dawkins and Montez Ford, love it. I'm just loving them both. You know, I've never been a massive fan of Street Profits. They've I didn't really see their rise through NXT because I'm not a massive NXT fan, or have never been a massive NXT fan. And when they came to the main roster with like most NXT talents, they didn't really kind of, I don't know, they just didn't explode onto the scene. They were okay. They just seemed a bit. They were doing these like strange backstage party gimmicks and videos and packages and stuff, and I just didn't really
booking.
Yeah, I didn't really understand or like their characters, but oh my god, they were amazing this match. I don't know if is Montez Ford been away for a period. Has he been injured or?
I couldn't tell you.
No, I don't. But I mean, they're alluding to the fact in the commentary that he'd come back and he's more muscly and bulkier than I remember him.
Stu, this is what I've been saying.
I know. Jimmy, you prophesized this.
I street prophesized this. I said on the Renaissance Men months ago that
I clearly
Montez. No, you don't listen. Montez Ford I said he could be the next Rock, but that's the problem. I say people could be the next so and so, and that's just stupid.
But he could be a superstar, Jimmy. I'm with you on this now.
I said he needs to bulk up because I like my men big and sweaty and jacked. But he's so charismatic. He's good looking. He's got the best frog splash on the planet. There's no one has got a frog splash like him. I'm with you, man. And the Usos have never been better. As soon as they came out, they looked intimidating,
commanding, aren't they? Commanding presence. That's a good point. Two teams at their peak, giving commanding performances. Just so good. Such a good back and forth. You know, close finishes. Just hot tags. It was, it's just everything you would want in a tag match. I thought it was great, absolutely great. But I don't want to diminish the work of Angelo Dawkins either, because he was leaping about the ring like fucking Rey Mysterio, drop kicks here, flipping about, doing all sorts of business. It's amazing. They're both great. Stars.
They are. I think that the sort of whole sort of party guys backstage does no one any favors. You're never going to be superstars like that. You could be fan favorites, like the Fashion Police and things like that, and you could even get Rhino and Heath Slater. You could even get to the top and hold the belts. But if you want to be main players, you need to be fucking serious, don't you? Like, no one at the top is a joke. I know at points, Kurt Angle wears a little hat and Stone Cold sings Jimmy Crack Corn or whatever. But if you want to be, you need to be cool to be that fucking guy at the top. But I'm with you, man. This was, I think, my match of the night. So good. Both teams. And, I I was surprised that I thought they were going to win as well, the Street Profits.
Yeah. The Usos won the match by pinfall and retained their titles. I was going to say something else. What the hell was it? I can't remember. I'm sure it'll come back to me.
I like the fact the Usos have taken on the a variation of the 3D and calling it the 1D. Mm-hmm. That's nice. That day one, just having the thing as well. The day one sort of being part of the bloodline. It's good long term booking, sticking with stuff. The Street Profits. Well, obviously, we were chatting about the Street Profits earlier, wasn't we, on our WhatsApp group? And there was the fear that if they do the split up of Montez and Dawkins, that Dawkins would be the one that turns heel and ultimately gets the sort of downward spiral of the 24/7 champ sort of thing. You just end up there like, I mean, who was the guy who used to be with your big round fella?
He's not with them anymore, is he? I'm sure he got released.
Yeah.
Is
what
that
are they called?
Right.
Were they War Machine?
No,
heavy
machinery or something.
Do not operate heavy machinery.
Yeah. Big Diggers, is that what their name? I don't know.
They had a sort of falling out over Mandy Rose, didn't they? And then it was him all along. And
that's the hot storyline from WrestleMania 2 years ago.
And you get the bigger character, and he goes off. I mean, it's seen Shawn Michaels and Marty Jannetty, British Bulldogs. These things happen. So it would be a shame, but I think if you split them up, I think Dawkins would struggle to find his place. That's
fair. That is fair. Which would be a shame, actually, because he
very good.
He's not as charismatic as Montez Ford, but he still holds a commanding presence in the ring because he's a big guy, but he's an athletic big guy, and I think that's always a joy to watch in the ring. Really is.
Ideally, he'd get severely injured, so he could never wrestle again and just become like the manager of Montez, and then they could just stick them together.
Ideally, he'd break his neck and everything will be fine.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. And then just Paul Bearer him.
Next up, we got a mystery segment. It's a very short video package teasing. I don't know. It felt very Wyatt-like, to be honest, in the first instance. But when you delve deeper into some of the iconography they were showing, there's a lot of stuff that alluded to it, maybe perhaps being Edge. There's some references to the Hardy Boys, the Dudleys.
Was there?
Kurt Angle.
I saw the Kurt Angle medals. I saw Dudley Boy's glasses.
Yeah.
So what's Edge done with Kurt Angle? I think they had a little faction at one point, didn't they?
They had the hair match, didn't they? I think it was Edge that shaved Kurt's head to make him look like me.
It seems kind of weird though to have those sorts of vignettes for Edge. Like those sorts of vignettes deserve a big return or a new face, don't they? Like, who's the mystery? Oh, it's Edge. He just left the other day.
I get
I'm
you.
hoping it's not Edge. I'm hoping it's someone else.
Yeah.
I'm hoping it's Kurt in a dark persona as a monk, as a weird monk, growing some of his hair back.
It's just grown a ring of hair. Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, Friar Angle. As well.
It does. I mean, initially you get all excited, it's Bray Wyatt coming back. And when you find out, it's probably Edge, you think, oh, okay. It's very disappointing.
We know Edge is coming back. Well, probably coming back, don't we? That seems point. I'll tell you what they did do, apart from that package, they did other packages just for wrestlers, didn't they? There was a Kevin Owens.
Did they?
Package.
Oh, they did, yes. There was a good Kevin Owens one, yeah.
There was the Roman and Brock sort of package.
Yep.
There was there a Seth one?
I can't remember. I don't recall that one.
They were really, really good packages. And I remember watching them because I always think that's a big thing WWE have over AEW is the way they put those packages together, even for matches that are coming up, or even these things. And I thought, these Jesus, I'd like to see Kevin Owens fight now. After watching that package, it was a real sort of like superstar building package.
Yeah.
I think they can still do that really well, and we always say WWE haven't built these superstars or whatever, and they haven't ring wise. But when you watch those packages, you're like, wow, this guy's a big deal, man. This is great.
Yeah. I mean, video production wise, there's no one better than WWE. Really, they really do put those production values into some great packages, as you say, Jimmy.
Yeah.
Yes.
Do you reckon that was just for Edge then? That package?
Probably. I mean, it seems the most logical. Sadly. There we go. Yeah. But they did they repeat it on Raw? I can't remember now.
I think they did.
I think they did.
I thought that was a new one. I thought it was slightly different.
I can't remember. Not sure.
Maybe after the Botchcast, Stu, we do a reaction to the thing and try and break it down.
Break the walls down. Okay. See that? I remember. Do you remember the Chris Jericho people on the internet trying to break the code of these mysterious like ones and zeros? These strange videos they had when he came back, like I don't know, like 2005 or 6 or whatever it was. That was good. I love it when people try and. It just felt like it was this Edge package just felt too easy. Like the WWE couldn't be bothered. Oh fuck it, let's just throw in some Edge references. It felt too. That's my only kind of way of thinking it. It isn't Edge. It was too on the money about Edge.
Yeah.
It was too overt, you know. I don't know. Perhaps they've just given up. Fuck it, can't be bothered.
Yeah, maybe.
Next up, we had match 5, which was the SmackDown Women's Title match. Natty Neidhart versus Ronda Rousey, the champ. For me, this is a bit dull.
Yeah, I can't stand Natty Neidhart.
No, I know what you mean. Oh, yeah. I don't know.
Has she had more implants? Like in different places, like not just her boobs, but her like everything. Like she was wearing something where her tits. That point when she came out and put those sunglasses on that kid's face, had these massive jugs in his face, like.
Yes.
But you know, hey, I don't care. People do what they want to their bodies. That's fine. But she's looking more and more odd with the face stuff. But I know she's a steady, good wrestler. I know she knows her shit. She knows her moves. She's safe. She knows how to execute stuff. I just find her slow and dull.
It's boring. This whole match was like chain wrestling, like just for the sake of chain wrestling. Let's put on this chain wrestling clinic. And he's like, oh, for God's sake. It has its place. Don't get me wrong. I do like a little bit of chain wrestling, but it's not very... It doesn't get the blood boiling, does it? I'm not a connoisseur. You may not know this about me, Jimmy. I'm not a connoisseur of wrestling.
Of anything.
Of anything. Yeah, I'm a Luddite. Absolute Luddite. And yeah, I just dull. Lacked atmosphere. And the match largely passed me by.
And I like Ronda in the ring.
I like yeah,
rare
me
I
too.
don't like a Ronda match.
Me too. But I think she's got to be, because she's not very charismatic herself, is she?
No.
I think she needs to be in there with someone who is.
She's a bit Brocky, isn't she? Like, I mean, Brock's better, but just someone like a Sasha Banks or someone she can sling about.
Yeah.
You know,
and spot on.
And because she's tough. That's the good thing about she's legit. She doesn't just look legit. Ronda is legit. So whenever she puts those moves on people, even when she first came in and she was punching Triple H, she was actually, he had probably said, you know, give it some, because he could take a bit of a punch from Ronda, couldn't he? So because she's legit, she moves legitimately. Her judo throws are legitimate when she gets people into moves. And she looks great. I like her look. But yeah, dull, man, dull.
What wasn't dull was the after match.
The highlight
Ronda,
of the night.
Ronda beats Natty by submission. But failing that, or after that, in comes Liv. And, Ronda hadn't taken a beat down at this point. Like, Natty hadn't gone, fuck you. Like, Ronda was just there. Just
she had a bad leg.
Oh, that's right. They did sell a leg injury, didn't they? Yeah. They did sell that during the match. So, the perception was it wasn't Ronda at 100%. So out comes Liv and she cashes in. She's not having a party. She's not thinking about WrestleMania. Fuck it. She's going straight in there.
Now, Stu, at this point, when she cashed in, did you think like I did? Oh, no.
Yeah, she's losing. As soon as that ankle lock went on to Liv, I thought, oh. Yeah. And they'd sold throughout the evening as well that the women's Money in the Bank winner had 100% record. So they kept selling that to us.
Oh, shit, did they?
So I was thinking, here comes Liv. She's going to be, I'm trying to think of someone.
Baron Corbin.
Yeah, Baron or Aaron Stevens.
Damien Hirst, his name. Damo.
Yep.
Yeah, missed out.
Got there in the end. Him.
Yes.
Yeah, but
I thought that.
But
she had her in that ankle lock for ages, didn't she?
Yes.
Like,
so you could see
it was like, it's gonna tap. She got to the ropes, and then she got pulled back. It was, and I was just going, no. I was so invested, Stu. I was so again. I barely watched Liv. I was gonna say Liv Tyler. I've barely watched Liv Morgan wrestle. That much. But just I was so in it. I was like, no, this is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. Why have they done this? This is another nail in poor Liv Morgan's coffin.
But lo and behold, in goes a swift backward strike kick to Ronda's knee, her bad knee. And then Liv hits a wrap-up pin and gets the 1, 2, 3. And Liv Morgan is now our SmackDown Women's Champion. My initial thoughts was, yes, well done, Liv. I wish this had ended the show. I wish this...
Yeah, I mean, you're right.
Saying that, though, having Natty versus Ronda as the main event would have been a bit rubbish. Yeah. But this would have been a great moment to kind of go out on, having Liv win the title.
Yes,
I agree. Say Liberty.
But if they were finishing the show on this, people might have suspected the cash-in.
True. That is true, actually. Yeah.
But I'm with you, Stu. I'm with you. When I watch back the shows, I say I'm with you so much. It's ridiculous. We agree on so much. Yeah. When she had her in the ankle, I was like, no. I was watching this during my lunch break. I was at work in the office and sometime listening to a show. Carl Hill was in his bit. And I was like, no. And I could sort of see him sort of poking in and doing that angle.
What are you doing?
God. And then when she got her in that roll-up, it was a good roll-up. It wasn't a weak roll-up. It was all the way over and all her weight. It got right over. So once she got her in that, I was like, shit. And when she did, I went, yes! Yes! Like, it's the first yes I've done in wrestling for ages. I was so happy for the girl. It was for her. It wasn't because the match was amazing or anything. I was just so happy for Liv Morgan to do well. It was great. And the genuine emotion, the tears were all genuine. Nice bit with Ronda as well.
Yeah, that was nice.
Giving it up. Nicely done.
And a lot of, her colleagues coming out on social media after the fact and really congratulating. She seems like a well-liked member of the roster. I think that's systematic or shown by the amount of people that have congratulated her, saying so happy for her. Which it was a nice moment when it really was.
Yeah, like do I think she should have the belt? Do I think like she's the best female wrestler, the most believable champ? Not at all.
No,
not at all. But it's they're good moments when someone overcomes the odds, and I don't.
You've got to have those moments. I think. Yeah, you've got to have them.
Yeah, and it's not overcoming the odds of actual people you got to fight. It's overcoming the odds of not being not being Charlotte, not being Becky, not being Ronda or anything, and being able to get to the top. That was what the yes was for. It was like a win for just good sportsmanship. Just sticking in there, doing your best. Doing your bit and still being nice and not being a cunt. And you deserve it. And I think she got a "you deserve it."
She did, and subsequently on Raw as well. So it's like I say, you do need those moments where someone can overcome the odds. Someone you don't expect to win the title. It adds a bit of. It's not just a dramatic moment, but it adds a bit of believability to the whole, and a bit of legitimacy to the chase for the title for anyone. I think. Yeah.
And off of Rousey as well.
Yeah, good moment. Great moment for the girl. We wrapped the PLE up with match 6, which was the men's Money in the Bank ladder match we discussed briefly earlier in the evening. Our entrants were Riddle, Seth freaking Rollins, Omos Sharif, Madcap Moss, Sami Zayn, Sheamus, Drew McIntyre, and latterly revealed by Adam Pearce, Theory was a late entrant to the match. I didn't mind Theory being in it at all, really, because it wasn't. I think it was. I mean, to remove it from him losing the title, because I'm not sure how well that worked. Him losing the title and then being entered into the match. I liked the fact. I didn't mind that it was him, because it made him a heat magnet. People hated that decision, And I thought that worked well for Austin Theory's character. I thought he was a good person to come in at that point to take that final spot.
Well, at first, when old what's his name, Adam Page? That's not his name.
Adam Pearce.
Adam Page is over on AEW, and when Adam Pearce. You notice how much Adam Pearce looks like Shawn Michaels? Like a younger Shawn Michaels with a shaved head.
Yeah.
When he came out to announce someone, I thought it could be Cody. I did think it could be Cody. And it would have made sense to give him the briefcase, because he's obviously going to go for... He wants the belt, and he's going to get the belt at some point. So when they said Theory, I was like annoyed, and you're right. It's that heat that comes with it. But my biggest annoyance was, he's obviously going to win it. You don't bring in the wild card not to win it. And then I thought, or is that them just trying to play me and make me think that he's going to win it? So you do never know. But it was fine, him going in. It was fine.
What did you think of him winning it, though? In context of, do you believe that he will be able to go on to beat either Roman or Brock, or I don't know?
So Roman's got both belts at the moment.
He does, and he's fighting Brock at SummerSlam one last time. So I don't know. I'm assuming Brock might win at that point.
They should probably give Brock the win at that point.
Do they want to ununify the belts? Probably makes more. I don't know what they're thinking, but
I think so. Split them up again. I like having just one champ, but they've kept the two belts. Otherwise, they could have just molded them into one, couldn't they? A purple belt or something. So, I think they will. I think maybe they'll. No, he'll hold on to it for ages. And he's probably the right guy to hold on to it for ages. That sort of weasel, turning up and then not cashing in, all of that stuff. And then I could see him going all the way to Mania, with Cody winning the Rumble and getting his shot against Roman and maybe winning it.
Cody wins and then Theory cashes in on Cody. Ooh.
Yeah, but probably Theory doesn't win it.
Okay.
Because he wouldn't have to at that point. Do you know what I mean? It would be stupid to give him the Seth moment. We've seen that. I think
It's a
Cody
great
could beat
tool
as
for him,
well.
isn't it? It's a great tool for Theory. You know, he is like we say, he is that cocky heel. He does that great, and you're spot on thinking about it. That having the Money in the Bank, I think it's always thinking about it. It's probably always better for a heel to have that because they can do more with it. They can do more with it. It can enhance their character a lot more, and I think he's perfect to take advantage of that.
Yeah, like a face should probably say, "I will face you at this event."
Yeah,
and do it admirably. You know. That said, you know, what's his name?
Saying that, Liv just fucking did it.
Yeah, Liv did it. Dirk Diggler. What's his name? Zach Kurgler. What's his name? The
What are you
sexy
talking
one.
about?
The sexy one who
Dolph
cashed in.
Ziggler.
Yeah, Dolph Ziggler. Yeah, Dirk Diggler. That's Boogie Nights, isn't it? Mark Wahlberg. Yeah. He did it, and people loved it. And yeah, you're right. Liv Tyler did it as well. Liv Morgan did it. Yeah, but it's better on a heel. It's better on a heel.
I think so. Yeah.
And, yeah. I mean, the fact Liv did a what's his name? Russ Abbott, Dean Ambrose. She did it. She did a Dean Ambrose, didn't she? Cashed it in on the same night. Like that works for a face. That does work for a face.
So it's 6 degrees of wrestling separation. What's his name? Russ Abbott? No.
But he was one of my. He certainly wasn't the bottom of my list to win that match. He certainly wasn't the bottom. We had 7 people in the match.
I think he was the 8th. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, there was 8 combatants.
Like who would you put ahead of Theory to win that? Who you would have preferred?
Do you know what? I would have quite liked. I think Riddle, to be honest.
He was the fan favorite, wasn't he?
Yeah, I think I would have. If not, I think he would have. Again, someone that would have used it the best out of the rest of them. I don't think Drew needs it. I don't think Sheamus needs it. I don't think Seth needs it. You don't want to give it to Omar Sharif. You don't want to give it to Madcap Moss. Sami Zayn maybe, because he could have done some interesting stuff with the Bloodline.
This is it, right? When you're whittling it down, I completely agree. All of those people, I never want to see on Sheamus again. Drew, I'm sad about Drew, but he's just not there for me. Madcap, he's not there yet. Omos, no fucking way do you give him the suitcase, briefcase. So you're left with Riddle, Theory, Sammy, and
that's it.
That's it.
Seth, did we say Seth?
Oh yeah, Seth, and yeah, you've done. Seth's had it. He's had everything. You don't need to do it. He doesn't need it.
No.
But you're right. I thought Riddle would be really exciting, and he could even have Randy with him. On that sort of journey. That could have been quite exciting. Sami Zayn, I kind of really hoped Sammy would win it. This idea of is he trying to get in with the Bloodline? Is that what he's doing? He's wearing their t-shirt.
Yeah, I think he is. I think that's the conceit. Yeah,
it's brilliant. I can only think of that being his idea because he's good at coming up with stuff. He's good on the mic, and the idea of him winning that and promising Roman he's not going to cash in on him and. There's story there, isn't there? There's story. I'm with you, and he's great, Sami Zayn. I mean, he comes across like a loony now, but I think there was probably more story with Riddle and Sammy with the briefcase than Theory, but he's still better than the other options, isn't he?
Do you think Theory was the original plan, or do you think this would have gone to Cody if Cody would have been in it?
My thoughts were it'd go to Cody. Yeah, that's why I thought he was going to come out. Because they've promised him the belt at some point, haven't they? That's how.
And I assume he'll win it. But yeah, interesting. What did you think of the match itself?
Wasn't the best one I've seen. I mean,
no.
I think you're right. People laying around outside the ring. I think they had the problem with. Omos.
Spot on. Exactly what I was going to say. I think that's, what do you do with him? Go
ahead.
No, I was just going to say, I mean, they dealt with him by everyone ganging up on him and then throwing him through the table, which was a great spot. But
It was a good spot, wasn't it? Yeah.
And McAfee made it. I love Pat McAfee. He always enhances everything, every bit of
he's
action
brilliant.
that he's calling. He's the best commentator in the business. JR is just a mumbling mess at this point. It's all about Pat for me.
JR or
yeah.
Cole?
JR
and AEW.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's certainly not what he was. Like JR and the King, But I think he's amazing, Pat. And I think Vince lets him pretty much have carte blanche with what he says. But yeah, and that was a great spot with Omar when they knocked him off. But the problem is, it's like putting Andre the Giant in a ladder match. Like you don't do it. There's no need for him to be in a ladder match. Kane, and as I say, even with Kane's never won one of the ladder matches, one of the Money in the Bank matches. And when he was in it, it was weird. Like, you don't want a big guy in these ladder matches. No, you don't want Taker in these matches,
I think you're right. And they did their best to accommodate him. They got rid of him. But I think what you're saying about a lot of people being outside the ring and there just being like a lot of one-on-one kind of matchups cycling out from each other. There was a lot of that. And some people didn't get much ring time at all, to be honest with you. No. I don't really recall what Sami Zayn did.
He did a lot of hiding. He was hiding a lot of it, which you sort of go, okay, that's fine. Yeah, he's doing that. But, there was one ladder match with Sami and Kevin Owens in it, and it was brutal. And some of the ladder matches they had on NXT, the original NXT, was so good.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think Omos was a real stopping point for them actually getting going, because it should be a spot fest. If they've got that many ladders, that's why I tune in to see a spot fest. And you had probably the best one was the Riddle RKO.
Yeah, that was pretty sick. Yeah.
Was that to Seth?
Yes, it was. I think it was.
I like that Riddle's taking on that RKO. It gives him a lot of legitimacy, doesn't it? I wish he'd put some shoes on, but it does give him a.
He must have leathery old soles, mustn't he? Proper calluses on those feet.
And he seemed to take it really seriously as well. When he came out, he was doing his sort of stoner character, which he is, and someone was wearing like a Flintstone t-shirt or something, like a stoner t-shirt, and it was like, eh. But once he was in. And the problem with Riddle is, again, he's legit, isn't he? He's ex-MMA. He's tough as fuck. Like, it's weird, the sort of juxtaposition of his actual real-life persona, which is that character, to that hard-hitting man.
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe that's why people like him, but I'd love to see him go serious. I would like to see that, Riddle.
I do think his character is endearing, Not that I condone drug taking in any form, but yeah, I do. I don't know. I like it. I like him how he is. He's endearing. You kind of want to think, oh, bless him.
I'm with you, but it's just my opinion. It's just what I like. But I like my main guys to be cool as fuck.
Yeah, I can see that.
And sexy and cool. And he's got, I want them to be as serious as Stone Cold or as serious as The Rock when he got there, and as serious as Brock. Yeah. Or how Roman is now. Roman's at the top now because he's doing it, taking it seriously.
Theory won the match, so Theory is the Mr. Money in the Bank. So yeah, we shall look upon his journey with great interest. I sound like fucking Palpatine there, didn't I?
You did. That is the quote.
Yeah. There we go. All in all, what did you think of the PLE? I'm not saying pay-per-view. PLE. What did you think overall?
Decent. Not amazing, but certainly watchable, and certainly the Usos and the Street Profits and the Liv Morgan cash-in were the highlights, and the men's match was decent. Yeah.
Solid.
Nearly. Well, no, I wouldn't say solid.
Okay.
It wasn't solid because there was loads of
gaseous
in it, but there was
liquid.
There was a couple of good highlights. Yeah.
I think we need to rate the pay-per-views in the states that they are, either liquid, No, gas, liquid, solid.
Yeah,
Oh,
I'll go
damn,
liquid. Yeah,
Okay.
liquid with some ice in it.
Okay. Lovely
But
stuff.
what did you think? Did you think the same?
Yeah, I thought it. I was other than there's one match that I didn't like. What was it? The Raw Women's Title match, which I kind of zoned out from. Most of it was I was pretty engaged by it. I quite liked it. To be honest, I liked the results of the ladder matches themselves. Obviously, I enjoyed Liv winning the title. Yeah, I would put it in solid category. I'm liking this new rating system, by the way.
Do you think it suffered? This has only just popped into my head. Do you think it suffered from the lack of star power? I.e., we had no Roman, no Brock, no AJ Styles, no Edge, no Kevin Owens, no Finn Balor.
That's interesting. Yeah.
No Shinsuke Nakamura. I know he's gone down the card, but there was none of those. No Shane McMahon. No Cena.
No Cena. Do we know who the kickoff was? I can't recall what the kickoff match was. Not that it would have any of those stars in, but obviously there was a kickoff of sorts, and it would have had a match. But no, I don't think it did. I don't think it did. I think maybe the men's Money in the Bank match.
No Randy, obviously.
Yeah, it was. It was Cody. A bit when you're bringing Madcap Moss and Omar Sharif into it. You're scraping the barrel a little bit, aren't you? I think. But saying that, the flip side of that is these matches are there to elevate, kind of these mid card talents, isn't it? I suppose that's the point of it, to give them a shot at the big time. I'm not convinced either way, to be honest. But in terms of pay-per-view, yes, it could have had some more star power, but I thought it was pretty solid.
Yep.
Yeah. So there we go. Jimmy, that's another Botchcast. We finally did another one. Happy days.
We did one.
I brought you on board to talk wrestling, and I didn't live up to that, but
you've committed to your promise. Just 2 years later.
I know. I'm so sorry, my friend. So sorry.
Don't apologise.
No,
I enjoy talking the nonsense we talk. To be honest, it's much more.
You love it, yeah. Yeah. So thank you for joining us. If you're watching this, you are watching this on demand. Please do give us a like and subscribe and all that good stuff. Please hit up the social media channels below. If you want to join in the community chat.
And please tell us what you'd like us to do for your donations for the Great Ormond Street Hospital. Yes. We will do whatever you want us to do.
Jimmy will do whatever you so desire. I will support him in that.
For the right money.
Of course.
You can't say, I'll give you £2.50 if you blow a donkey. That's not going to happen. It's not. I'm going to put it out there now.
Yeah, he says this. But no, if you do want to give to our fundraising drive, like I say, do scan that QR code in the top right, or head over to justgiving.com/fundraising/RenaissanceCast to find out a bit more about my personal history with Great Ormond Street and a little bit more about how the charity can help families in need. So there we go. Thank you for joining us. Jimmy, it's been an absolute pleasure.
Wonderful.
You are not here on Friday, so plans are afoot for me to do something on Friday. I'm not quite sure what it's going to be, but I'll probably do something.
I'll provide the donkey.
Okay, excellent. So until next time, please take care and goodbye.